ये रहा, इधर ऑफ कर दो. No, no. No, this is coming because this is outputting. Echo is. If it is doing well. This cannot take it. Bhagavad Gita. Fine. Next time. Ataji, your book is with me? Oh, Malli. Aishwarya I gave. Aishwarya, one was for Aishwarya. Hey, एक second. Hey, one book is, क्या नाम लिखा है?
That's fine.
Which one is?
I'll check it.
Yeah, ये. Pass it on. And which one is yours? Which one? This one. You just got, no? Okay. Shridhara, can you open Gita in this? Can you do that? Chapter and you can look at, you know how to make it. You use this? No.
We can see that.
No, but just you can look at chapter 3. Well, I say you have to do here 2-3 times it will come. Yeah. Just वो कीबोर्ड ले लो, फ्रंट बैक होता है ना, उससे कंट्रोल ये माउस से. Okay, so we are. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Vinayami Namaste Saraswate Devi Namaste Charine Nirvishesha Shudavati Pasha Deshwami Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaurava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. Actually, before reading Bhagavad Gita, what we should do, we should, you open the introduction. Anybody has Bhagavad Gita?
Sri Chaitanya.
You brought? Yes. Sridhara, can you go to introduction? No? Blackwala mouse is working for me. Shows the index on the top. You located it? See, in there, go on the top. This is the index. Go to index. Similar way. Chalo, we should chant this actually, all of us together. Anytime we read Bhagavad Gita at home also, we chant this. That is very nice. Okay. Om Ajnanathimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatha Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Ada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shivhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataruvaccha Kripa Sindhuva Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So everybody remembered the shlokas? Till now we have 25 shlokas to remember. One shloka in the first chapter, 19 in the second chapter, and 5 in the third chapter. Gather? 25. We'll do at the end. Now let us finish the chapter. So this good. You can, when you go home, sit and read in the introduction the meaning of what we chanted. Okay, everything. If you know the meaning, you are very nice. Otherwise, it becomes a ritual. Always, Prabhupada as an acharya is humbly beginning, always praying obeisances to the previous acharyas and Krishna. That's what is happening. Praying obeisances to predecessor acharyas, praying obeisances to Lord Krishna, his consort Radharani, then starting. So we should also say in mood when we read, we should read. अरे माइक किधर गया? हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
कृपया ध्यान दीजिए, अब हम उड़ान के लिए तैयार हैं। कृपया टेक ऑफ और लैंडिंग के दौरान अपनी पेटी भी बंद कर दें, कुर्सी सीधी रखें, कुर्सी की पेटी बांध लें और विंडो शीट्स खुले रखें। धन्यवाद। May I have your attention, please? We are ready for departure.
थोड़ा खराब है आज.
Seat back is straightened, seat belt is securely fastened, and window shades are open at the time of takeoff and landing. Thank you.
The third chapter we divided into 5 portions. Last time we did, I think, first 2.
Yes.
And then some new people had come, we went to the revision and we got lost in it. Happens. Many people will come just once. Will hear because they think it is, they don't hear it seriously. They hear because it is good. They don't enter. If they enter, they will have to come again. But they do not want to disturb their life. They say sometimes we are sleeping, so nice dream is going on. Somebody comes to wake up, we wake up. अरे यार, such a कितना अच्छा सपना खराब कर दिया, and we go back to sleep. Yeah. So we are like disturbing their dream. They want to continue the dream. The dream is very pleasurable, so they don't want to be disturbed. They come, they like it, but the dream they like more. They go back to their dream with Ashirvada. You know? They come to Krishna and enjoy so nicely. Please bless me nicely. They don't want to hear which may something which may disturb their. They have some worldview. People generally have a worldview. This is like that. God is like this. This material world is like that. I'm like this. The world is. They have some kind of thing, and they're living in that world. And when we speak something, we are not. We're just repeating what Krishna says. It breaks their worldview. They just get shaken. Like I think 2-3 times it got mentioned last time. Meat eating is not good. Oh, bha, if you say that, it is like you're hitting their plate. In colleges also, and the later I tell about meeting, particularly in Mangalore. I wait for some time. Otherwise, they start fighting because you hit somebody's plate. That's the first thing you're going to do after this. And then they sit with the plate. That's why most of the people, when I go to their house, say, why don't you come to temple on Sunday? Sunday is the day we eat meat. Because meat takes time. So they all from morning, that's the feast in the afternoon. And after eating meat, they feel ashamed to come to temple. They know it is wrong to go. Now we should not go to temple. But they cannot give up this, so therefore their routine, Sunday is the day they cannot come. Some people. Okay, so we did 5 portions, and the first portion was Arjuna's confusion. Today I've written on the board also, so you can see as the shloka sequence is going, so you are in the track. Mataji, you were there last time? Okay, so is readable for you? See, everybody is reading notes, nobody is reading Gita. So my request is, see, he has brought Gita and notes. See, कॉलेज में भी एक बार नोट्स मिल जाए हम लोग टेक्स्ट बुक को इंजीनियरिंग में तो छूते भी नहीं सी इज आल्सो लाइक they go to teachers, they ask teachers for notes, not for books, because and it's also so impractical. But unless you study textbook the author is writing, you will never get the taste of the subject. Today the main malady in education system is that teacher is not able to give taste of the subject to the students. They don't go back and study the subject. Why? Because the textbooks are the place where the author is writing, who can actually eliminate the taste in the topic. That is, life is that topic only, correct? You read him, you will feel, such a wonderful topic. Nobody is interested. They just take notes, some formulas, go to the exam, fill formulas and go. But then their very purpose of education is little disturbed. Pleasure doesn't come. Okay. So even I don't have textbook. Very good. You're all in notes now. Can I get somebody? So, no. I have with me both. On my laptop, book is there. I'm showing the book on it. Okay. Who will take charge of this? Can you take charge of this? क्या हुआ काम नहीं कर रहा? कुछ प्रॉब्लम है उसमें? देखना. Okay. Arjuna. Okay. Now, what do? We just read the translation of the first two. First part was presented. First 3 parts are over. Who remembers? First 3 are over. 3 are over. Okay. We just read the translations. O Janardana Okeshana, Arjuna said, why do you urge me to engage in the ghastly warfare? If you think the intelligence is better than fruitive work. So his question, why ghastly warfare? Ghastly. And we had the shloka reference from the second chapter, 2.39, 2.49, one more shloka where connected. Why Arjuna, this question, what did Krishna actually say in the second chapter for Arjuna to come with the question like that. We found a shloka 2.49, Durena. We read the shloka. Keep abominable activity. Durena hi avaram karma. All abominable activities far away. So that was what we heard. So keep away. So you say, told me keep abominable activity far away. This fighting is abominable activity. So I can't understand. You're telling me to fight, and you just said don't fight. Directly, correct? Keep abominable. You thought this is abominable. But even fighting is as service to Krishna can be transcendental. It what will be slowly. Okay. My intelligence bewildered by equivocal instruction. Therefore, please tell me, decide what is beneficial for me. Equivocal means बहुत कुछ बोला. ये करो, वो करो, वो करो, वो करो. Confused हो गया. एक चीज बोलो. Therefore, it says ekam, ekam vada. Tell me one thing. Not so many. That. Then he says, O Santas Arjuna, third one, this is go to the Nishkama karma is better than Jnana Yoga. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita also, if you see, this third chapter is now Karma Yoga, fourth chapter is Jnana Yoga, fifth chapter is Nishkama Karma Yoga. So going higher and higher, Nishkama Karma Yoga is better than. Suppose I have already explained that there are two classes of men realized. Some are inclined to understand by empirical philosophical speculation, and others are inclined to by devotional work. Two people. Okay, Prabhupada says one thing is like finding the root of the tree, one thing is putting the water on the root. One says both are good, but this higher is to directly engage in devotional service. Like many people have this idea. Bhakti ke liye thoda pehle Sanskrit seekhenge. Many people say that. Fir aapka Gita padhenge. Isn't it true? Many people say that. First I have to learn Sanskrit, then I will read Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Okay. So many people say that first I have to learn Sanskrit. You have find many cases, many friends they say, "Oh, I want to learn Sanskrit. I am not interested in any interpretation. I want to directly read what the word says." And these kind of ideas they have. But that's more like contamination of jnana. But when you adopt Krishna consciousness, start chanting, start hearing, that's what discussing in the morning. Unless there is devotional activities, this dogs will always never be totally convinced. But when we take to devotional activity, Krishna reveals to us the truth. Then it is very easy, isn't it? Jnanis क्या होता है? एक like placards, it is building a mountain. One card you move, whole thing falls down. So the logic. Therefore, they tell no, but what about that? And he is sitting on that. But you are not like that. One side you are practicing Krishna consciousness, you are perceiving the result. Other side you are cultivating knowledge. एक साइड हरि नाम जप कर रहे हैं आनंद है और दूसरी साइड शास्त्र में पढ़ रहे हैं हरि नाम से ही आनंद है मैच हो गया ना मैच हो गया तो फॉर अस इट इज नॉट ओनली ज्ञान इट्स आल्सो experience of devotional service. Mataji, it makes sense to us. Therefore, Krishna is saying, and Nishkam Karma Yoga is better. Okay, so now let us read the verses. Who can read the verses? Somebody can read the verses. Read. Bless Lord said. Okay, this is over. Now read the fourth.
Not by merely abstaining from work can one achieve freedom from reaction, nor by renunciation alone can one attain perfection.
Okay. Yes.
Everyone is closed.
Okay, this is understood. Just by renunciation, we cannot achieve perfection. Artificially, we cannot renounce. Okay, now it will be explained. This will be explained in the next one. Yeah. Why?
All men are forced to act helplessly according to the impulses born of the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment.
Even your sleep, that's an activity. You cannot refrain from an activity even for a moment. Okay? So, why? Because actually the three modes are dragging us. Ahankara vimudhatma kartataham iti manite. What is the shloka? Prakriti kriyamanani gudai karmani sarvashaha. Ahankara vimudhatma kartataham iti manite. The Prakriti is dragging us. How we can say, I will not do, you're forced to act. Everywhere. You say, I will not fight. You're a Kshatriya, you go to forest. You see a tiger chasing a deer, you will take your bow. Anyway you land. Better act here. cannot say I will not act. I have to act. Better act as per the duty. Even for a moment. Such a nice statement, even for a moment. Therefore, Prabhupada says to be saved in spiritual life, always to be busy with activities of Krishna consciousness. Idle mind, devil's work. Have you heard that? When did you hear?
Childhood.
No, we recently heard it again.
Yesterday.
You heard or not? The morning? Idle mind, devil's work.
Guru Maharaj.
Somebody said, no, it's difficult to control the mind. Idle mind, keep yourself busy. I read.
One who restrains the senses and organs of action, but whose mind dwells on sense objects, certainly deludes himself and is called a pretender.
Why is Krishna telling that? If Arjuna is saying he can go to the forest, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, I'm not doing anything. You're not ready for that. So, Prabhupada, in this world, the fighting is also to be there, chanting is also to be there. You cannot just imitate the Babajis. He's playing a role of a Kshatriya. You cannot do that. And if you try to do that, you'll become a hypocrite because you are not ready. You will artificially say, no, Hare Krishna. Then that will not be good. And that is pretender, hypocrite. So, next. Please read all these purports are like nice slaps on all of us. Achalo, next.
On the other hand, he who controls the senses by the mind and engages his active organs in the work of devotion without attachment is by far superior.
So we have therefore keep ourselves engaged. What? Engaged. Very important. Keep yourself somehow engaged. Very, very. Artificially renouncing the word and sitting. Practically, actually the sannyasa is forbidden in Kali Yuga. 5 things are forbidden in Kali Yuga, which are allowed in previous yugas. One of the things is sannyas. So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself took sannyas. Why? The reason is what kind of sannyas? Karma sannyas. Where you just sit down in a cave, koi kaam nahi. That is not allowed in Kali Yuga. You cannot do that. And they don't even think about God. They just think about nothing. They don't do any activity. And many people think that they have to do what they know. But Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, every chapter brings out me. Second chapter also there is a shloka. I said you have to think about me. Here also it will come. You have to offer all results to me. So you cannot just withdraw like that. It will not work. So it's better is a person who is a Shartan meditator. Shartan meditator means khali better than, correct? Better than him is a person who is engaged and with Nishkam karma. He's doing an activity without any result and offering the result to Krishna. We work, everybody is working. But that result of the work he enjoys. He is not karma yogi, he is karma bhogi. कर्म कर रहा हूँ, कर्म नहीं कर रहे, कर्म भोग कर रहे। आपने आम का पेड़ बनाया, सारे आम खा जाओगे, कर्म भोग है वो, कर्म योग नहीं। तो आम का आप पहली फसल कृष्ण को दोगे तब कर्म। ये तो सब मालूम है ना, इसलिए यहाँ पे फेस्टिवल कर्नाटक में क्या बोलते हैं उसको? एग्रीकल्चर फर्स्ट प्रोड्यूस उगादी, and Kerala, Onam, Vishu, correct? Isn't it? This festival is there because the farmers are recognizing, and in fact, what happens? The more you are with nature, more you can see the grace of the Lord. तो देखो बारिश नहीं आ रही है, नहीं सोचेंगे हम प्लेन फैन की जाएंगे ऊपर और आर्टिफिशियल सीडिंग करेंगे, कितना पानी गिरता है पता है आर्टिफिशियल सीडिंग में? सुबह आप अपने पत्तों में डालते हैं, बस उससे तो हो गया आपका काम. You have to depend on God, correct? So they see the sun, they see you are living with nature, you actually see the blessings of God. So then when they have a produce, they know I have to thank God. We are more and more removed from nature, so we don't see, more and more we are away. We think what God has to do in my life. But people are living with nature, which is the most, the best way to live. Your friend did not come today. Is by far superior. Engage in activities, work or devotion is by far superior. We're just doing revision now, so it's fine. 8. Perform your prescribed duty. Read.
Perform your prescribed duties, for action is better than inaction. A man cannot even maintain his physical body without work.
5 activities which is one is Kali Yuga, one is sannyasa, and another 4 are which are
Huh?
one is sannyasa, one is
I would have told, I would have told. I held that because people are not ready. We are not able to understand those activities. Ashwamedha Gavalambam, Ashwamedha Yagna, not allowed. Because they used to offer a horse in sacrifice. After the horse used to be given bali. But then the horse used to take a new life in front of everybody. He will be born as a young man or a young horse. So they have done something. They have the power. We do bali, the person dies, animal dies, nothing happens. Those chanters are so powerful, they could do some magical things. So this nobody can do. Gavalamba, Gomeda Yagna. Cow was killed. You see, in India, cow slaughter. No, this is not cow slaughter. This is different. Cow was given a birth because cow was given a birth as a human being there, right in front of everybody. It's so powerful. So therefore, it is banned. Ashwamedha Gavalamba. Then, what are the 5 activities banned for you? What happened? You see that when 3 people are born in that way, in the Mahabharata. 3 people. No, this one first. Pandu, Dhritarashtra, and Vidura. They are not the sons of their father. Father was not there, or he had a curse. Father had died, and children were needed to continue. And Vedavyasa was sitting in forest doing tapas. He is the brother. They called him. So it was allowed in Vedic times, such things. Even Queen Kunti had 5 Pandavas from 5 Devatas. Today it will be correct? But today it should not be done. The brother will run away with the wife of the brother, correct? People are not mature. It used to be. See what happens. If I want each topic will take 1 hour. What way it is happening today is actually the semen banks and all. What isn't it happening? Doctor knows. And each is costing from 1 lakh, 2 lakh. You want to get this thing. It was more economical and people highly civilized. Highly civilized. And it has its own benefit. It continuing the Vamsha also. The special genetic engineering was there. You know that you select the genes. The kings used to have really special genes. They were very, very, their body and all is built for that job of a Kshatriya. So special genetic, what do you have cultivating like dog breeding? The breeding the, the Kshatriyas. Therefore, Krishna protecting Parikshit Maharaj, was continuous. The special, now Vamsha, that special after gene, and there is nothing special. Those also nothing. People say, "Mera vansh chala jayega." Kuch hai kya jo chala jayega? But previously, they were really great, virtuous kings. So better preserve that gene setup. True. Main thing is the soul, which is different from the body. But why neglect the body? So that was special bodies. Very powerful. Hare Krishna, welcome Shivran. Okay, what are the things? That was sannyasa, Ashwamedha Gavalambam, and then giving birth is a.
And offering the oblations of flesh to forefathers.
Sometime on Shraddha, flesh was offered, which is also not allowed. So there's 5 kind of things. I have an explanation 4th, 5th, I have to do. Why it was done and why. Okay, perform a prescribed duty for action is better than inaction. A man cannot even maintain. This I was joking. The physical body without work. You heard from your mother? अरे मेहनत नहीं करोगे तो खाओगे कैसे? है ना? Don't you tell as parents? है ना? You tell or not? You tell your son 100 times. You would have Yagnarthat karmano, work done as a sacrifice. Now, from this is a shloka which is very nice. Work and sacrifice which has to be performed. 5 we got. Number 1 was, which was there in Dwapara, which is not allowed in Kali, according to Shastra, should not be done. Now we are not so pure. Number 1 was Ashwamedha Yagna. We should not do today because horse will die, that's it. Nothing will happen. You cannot give birth to a young man or whatever. And Gavalamba, slaughtering the cow after the Gomeda Yagna. Ashwamedha Yagna, Gomeda Yagna. But cow was immediately given a new birth. This question was asked by Chandakazi. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no meat eating, Chandakazi said, you also have Gomeda Yagna. Chaitanya Prabhu said, no, it's not killing for like way you do. This is giving him higher birth. Ashwamedha Gavalambam, then sannyasa ashram, karma sannyasa, to be particular, just sitting. Previously it could have been done. Today it's not possible, mind is not so pure. Ashwamedha Gavalambam, then giving Pala Paitrikam. Your brother can give birth. Suppose you're not able to give birth from your wife, the brother can give birth. It has we can understand why it is done. Today, there are benefits in that. You're preserving your line, everything is there. But problem is the brother will run away with the wife. That's what will happen. And the maturity, mental strength is not there. People will not be able to. These things are not allowed. Fifth one was offering. Huh? Sometimes is Shradha offering flesh. Shraddha offering flesh sometimes.
Flesh.
To the forefather, which is not allowed in Kali. But we have to study why it was allowed that time. Right? Study. I will get back to you. Everything, just like when you read a textbook in college, everything answer is not there immediately because textbook are written by experts. Forefathers itself. Study, Raman, study man. Why it was allowed in Tapari? You type in Google, you'll get some answer. Looks like something. Why it was allowed first we have to understand. Because you cannot offer to Vishnu. Vishnu will Makaram Pusham Phalam Toyam. Whom they were offering and why the procedure was there.
Anybody want to eat, that's what we offer to some Kali.
Correct.
Maybe that.
Yeah, maybe through Kali they were offering. Kali is also they are blessing the forefather. So anyway, that area we have to study. So let us not comment on everything which we don't know everything. Let us be honest. Because some things, because anyway that was not part of our text today. That the cross reference or something we get stuck then. Okay, done. Perform a prescribed duty for his satisfaction. In this way you will attain an attachment free from. See, here Krishna is speaking indirectly. Work should be done for satisfaction of Vishnu. But you see, one place will say me. Always not. You have to come to me, so me. And he comes. But here he's saying, worship Vishnu. But there is no difference between Krishna and Vishnu. It's the same person. Same. In the beginning of creation, now we come to the second part. That was third part, 10 to 16. Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. Where Krishna is basically talking about low platform. Wherein you can work with foot in the mouth. Karma Kanda. Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishaya Bhanda. For devotion life, they are all considered pots of poison. So we never want to work with a fruit in mind. But Krishna has upheld Nishkam Karma, but is covering him even from Karma Kanda angle. Just like in the second chapter, when Arjuna says what is the benefit of fighting the war, Krishna gives material reason. Benefit? Array, you will fight the war, you will get Swarga. Why not benefit? So much benefit is there. And if you win, you have the Rajya. So Krishna is covering it from lower angle also. Okay? So here also Karma Kanda angle Krishna is covering. Okay. Karma Kanda to Karma Yoga. This is the portion. Yeah, 10 sloka. Yeah, read.
In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent 4 generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu and blessed them by saying, "Be thou happy by this yagna, because its performance will bestow upon you all desirable things."
Bhagavad Gita is gradually going up and up. Devata Puja here is recommended. So Devata Puja is not banned. It's not just like you cannot stand in front of Devi Devata temple, particularly in Mangalore. Say, don't go inside. It's a great offense if you do that because it's a Vedic process. Krishna is mentioning this process. Later in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will say, higher is to worship me. It will come later. So Bhagavad Gita is actually going step by step, higher. That's what teacher will teach. Because basics, theta, sine theta, tan theta, then go to Jnana. So he keeps lifting. Similarly, Krishna is teaching now here about Devata Puja, Devi Devata Puja also is into it. It's given in the Vedas. Lord only designed all these things. That is not in there. Because he will give the reasons that will come. Okay. Yeah.
Prabhupada refers to God Vishnu as the Prajapati. Hare Krishna. generally we refer to Lord Brahma as the Prajapati because Lord Brahma creates the material bodies. Lord Brahma also, like after Lord Brahma was born, Lord Brahma requested Lord Vishnu that by creating material bodies, I will start developing arrogance that I am creating these material bodies. So Lord Vishnu tells him that you just have to remember that I am supplying the strength for you to create the material bodies. So that way you will always remain in devotion and you will not attach arrogance of that work to yourself. So the original Prajapati is Lord Vishnu from that sense and not Lord Brahma.
Yes. Good. In this shloka it was there. Prajapati, oh, it's smart also. When we have discussed this shloka, we have talked about that, but now we have. Hare Krishna. You see that word? Parovacha Prajapati. Nero Savake, blue mark. This is connected. If I mark here, you can mark, you immediately translate it. Prajapati, the Lord of creatures. Okay? Begin the Lord of creatures, set forth generations of men and demigod along the second man. Be thou happy. Okay. The demigod being pleased with sacrifice will also please you, thus nourishing one another, they will reign a general prosperity for others. So I sometimes started feeling as if devatas are dependent on our sacrifice. Then I realized it's little gone off. Devatas have so many things. It's like one sweet dish you give them. It's like you got to get some sweet, an apple. They're eating. It's not that they're depending on food from you. You don't give, they will starve. But they will get irritated. They expect. Just like you take electricity, they're expected to pay your electricity bill. Not that the government will stop because they don't pay your electricity bill, which is insignificant. But it is definitely irritating why he is not having any sense of gratitude. So this sense of developing gratitude and sense of paying obeisances to higher authority starts with the devatas. Later, this goes to the Supreme Lord. So in that way, Devata worship is allowed because it will facilitate one day Vishnu worship. Everybody is not directly ready for Vishnu worship. Vishnu worship, there is no desire. It should be done on the highest platform. But people are not ready for that. So they like Devi Devatas. Therefore the Vedavyasa gave that. When Narada questioned Vedavyasa, why did you do it? The people are not ready for Vishnu worship. Sometimes this question is there. If only worship of Vishnu is there, then why the Vedas have given all this other Devi Devata worship? Question comes. What is the answer? People are not ready. Full of material desires. Better go to Devi Devata. Krishna, if you want to go to Vaikuntha, you want to go back to the spiritual world. Therefore, the Vedas generally give information how to live nicely in the world. And Gita gives information how to get out of this world. Gita is therefore higher than the Vedas. But people have generally other opinions. They say Shruti is higher than the Smriti. But they forget Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord. It is nowhere less than Shruti. Shruti means words which come from the Lord, correct? And which are eternal. And there is no change in that. So the Bhagavad Gita is kept in the middle of, therefore it is called Gita Upanishad. Upanishad is the word for always Shruti. So Gita is also called Gita Upanishad. But they forget this. It's the words of the Lord. Or you can discount it down. So there's no Mahabharata is less than the Shrutis. Shrutis are highest. But Krishna says that Bhagavad Gita, Gita is higher than the Vedas. Trigunya Vishya Veda, we read the second chapter. Trigunya Vishya Veda, Nishtha Vajana. Vedas only deal with three modes of mental nature. Rise above the Vedas. Nishtha Pavacham. Yamima Pushpatam Vacham. These are all flowery words of the Vedas. Don't get attracted. Because Vedas will say, you come, you do this puja, you do this. Mostly people come to temple for that. You will get that swarga. Your child will pass in IS examination. Oh, people will come do whatever, they will go 20 times around it. So when they are going around, when they are praying, they know at all praying, my Lord, it's my duty to come. I am your servant. And they're not coming dutifully. They say we go to God because of 4 reasons. One is because of fear, the lowest. One is because of desire. One is because of duty. And one because of love. Pure devotee goes to the Lord out of love. Out of see the Lord. You hear about great acharyas? Vittala, Vittala. You see only he went by? Who was the acharya? Honorable Vittala. What is the name? Vittala. He went to Mangalore, who made it so famous, whose leaders are all Tukaram. So many acharyas. So you hear, they were going to the Lord out of love. They can't see. Chaitanya Prabhu could not live without seeing Jagannath Deity. They are going out of love. Our Jagannath Deity is going out sometime and Chaitanya Prabhu used to be restless. He used to run to Alana. Bliss. So we can live without darshan for 100 years. Not out of. So then out of duty, better beauty. That is how. We should go like this. Out of desire, चाहिए ना. So out of fear. नहीं यार, मारने गए तो नरक चले जाएंगे. Mostly people got out of fear. जाओ वो नाक दोषा हो गया तेरा. जाओ नाक दोषा सॉल्व करके आओ. 10 लाख खर्च करो. Yeah. So they will reign. Demigods, they will worship. Also pleased with the nourishing one another. Read. In chant.
Various species of life, the demigods being satisfied for yagnas, supply all his needs. But he who enjoys these without offering them to the demigods is
You have to. So he is learning that there is a higher authority. Philosophy is seeing something which is not visible. There are higher authorities which are Devatas. He starts by
the devotees of Lord are released from all kinds of because they eat is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prefer for sense enjoyment may only sing.
Yagna. So if you the shloka number 13. This is still on. Last story. Karmakanda. Saying if you without offering gratitude, when you offer food, then it is. Mujjate Tedogam Pava Karana. You know the shloka? Adhe? Very good. This one? Anna. Anna, this is very shloka. You know, sometimes people say Bhagavad Gita is some kind of story. Anna do that. All living entities ये तो common sense है. Degree. Parajanya Anatma, and this food comes from the rain. That is also logic. पूरे इंडिया में अभी fraud चल रहा है. 40% क्यों चल रहा है? यज्ञराज हो गए. यज्ञ कोई कर ही नहीं रहा, है ना? अब you see, they put big super confidence. They can't see much. All the Devatas. And Devatas are finally controlled by the gods. They can't see. उधर के एक साइक्लोन आ गया, वायु और पूरा पानी गिर. They see like a random event. Our life also same. We see it's all accidentally happening. So nature also looks like it is accident. कहीं पानी गर्म हुआ and cyclone came. But I heard interpreter is taken a lot of water away. So they're going to be they say. So we do not all our competition. So they can't see that. So Parajanya and Yagna they cannot see. And the fourth line is anyway do your duty. And the present heritage.
Respect the Vedas. personality of Godhead. We all creating transcendent eternal acts of sacrifice.
This is the cycle now. The regulated activity is coming from where? From the Vedas. Vedas is coming from where? From the Lord. Okay, that's why it is the cycle. The whole cycle. Cycle of sacrifice. From the Lord, the Vedas prescribe. How do you know what is to be? From the Vedas. Prescribe action. Just like in a temple. Everybody is doing assigned duty. So Vedic times, all nourishment is a big temple. Whole society, whatever you do is connected. If you go somewhere, you go to a temple, you are benefited by temple. Is today, you give lift to somebody, in trouble. It's not Vedic society. There is no benefit. In the Vedic society, everybody is under the Vedic. Everybody is gradually being purified. So in like everybody is going for the certificate. Like you may be cleaning the country, also cleaning. That way, everybody is under control. Sacrifice because we are offering gratitude. They will get a sweet dish and they do their job. Rain. Facility. So you comes to the food, and offer the food. And the Lord with us, action. Which is a shloka? Shloka 16. This portion you read. Sacrifice in the cycle of sin because he is taking out. See, Vedic culture. When the person comes indebted to the deity. The humanity form nature, they food indebted to the nature. They say, college there is environment. They say mother earth. Started. They've always said 5 mothers we have, 7 mothers we have, mother. Anna? That's why putting your leg on earth also you should offer. Earth is good. Isn't it? Raman. Yagna time also want to take they remember and they Puja is done. We are indebted to the nature, we cannot destroy it. So we are indebted. So this we finished the third portion. Fourth portion is 17 to 17. Who was the first? Anybody assigned? Examples. So what do you do? You read the translation. You read the shloka. Okay. And Hare Krishna, Vanita.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sound is not that clear, no?
I know. No.
Hare Krishna. The theme of this shloka, a person who takes pleasure, Atma, is satisfied in Vritti, and he is satisfied alone. That is Atma Santi. And the person who is consciousness for him. And the next shloka presents a counter argument.
So Rati, different meaning. Rati, Ratha, and Santusta. Everybody knows the meaning. Rati means death, Rati means satisfied. Okay.
Next verse 18. A self-realized man is fulfilled in the discharge of nor he has any reason to perform such, nor he has any need to depend on any other. Explains twist the argument. Even a person who is satisfied, there is no reason for it.
They remain normal in society. Okay, na? Is it fine? We should behave very normally. So Arjuna, okay, you may be liberated, but behave like a Kshatriya now. You are playing the role as a Kshatriya, you cannot do what you decided to.
Next verse, text 19, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, without being attached to the fruits of activities, one should act as a matter of duty, for by acting without attachment, one attains the supreme. In this verse, Prabhupada mentions and he stresses on the importance that just in the previous verse we saw that even if you are fully satisfied, you should act, you should still do your duties. So in this verse, Prabhupada goes on to explain what kind of duties. He says, act on behalf of the Supreme Lord, but without attachment. So the theme of this shloka is that your duty should be detached. So detached dutifulness is the attitude that you must have. Because even if you decide to be good in this world, or if you decide to be act in a violent way, both are out of personal attachment. So Prabhupada stresses on the fact that do your duty again without attachment.
Okay, just give me 1 minute. Okay, it's fine.
Verse 20, translation by Srila Prabhupada. So at this point of time, Arjuna is actually curious that, okay, I do my duty also without detachment, but a question arises in his mind, are there any good examples? Are there any good leaders that we can follow? So this is the natural tendency when somebody asks us to do something great or somebody gives us a motivational talk. The first question arises in our mind is, are there any leaders? Are there any examples whose footsteps I can follow? So Krishna understands and Krishna now speaks the following verse, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Even kings like Janaka and others attained the perfectional stage by performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, just for the sake of educating the people in general, you should perform your work. So, experienced devotees in Krishna consciousness, they act in such a way that other people can follow.
Yeah, see what happens, people are not at the same level. So the Prabhupada says, another place also Krishna said, don't disturb them. But act in such a way, give a good example. Give a good example. Just like Srila Prabhupada, now he doesn't have to do so many things, but still he was doing everything to set a good example for his own disciples. They're very careful. Kings like Janaka. Janaka is a great personality, liberated personality. Still he was doing all his duty. All kings. When Krishna, now Krishna will come to his own example. Many great acharyas, many great kings, they were Raja Rishis. They're actually saints. Like Yudhishthira, so great saint. But he was, Krishna told him to rule, he was ruling. Moment he came to know Krishna has disappeared from the world, he just walked away. No attachment. Just doing out of sake of educating people in general. Get the point? Set a good example. So Arjuna, say you are a Kshatriya. So till now what has happened now? Try to see the argument. Can you give the argument? First thing Arjuna says, Krishna, I'll go to forest and sit. What is this? And I'll cultivate knowledge about it. What is this killing all these people? Krishna says, no, to be artificial, Arjuna. Correct? Your heart is not pure, and it better to be you're a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya don't imitate Paramhamsas. You cannot do that. Idle mind is devil's workshop for us, not for Paramahamsa. He has no idle mind. His mind is full of samadhi. So you're artificial if you go to that platform without gradual purification. What is going to happen to you? You will be a hypocrite. Better than a hypocrite is a sweeper on the road. So that's the statement. So don't do, you can. That's what happened. Then Krishna talked about the second part. He talked about karma kanda to karma yoga. He talked about, see, in this world, you have to offer sacrifice to Devata. They are managing the world. Do your work as a duty, prescribed duty. Krishna explained the Yagnat Bhavati Parjanyo. They're all connected. We have to we are bound by some duties. We are indebted and we have some duties to perform. You cannot just throw it away and walk away. You are bound. Sometimes we think, I'm not feeling happy. That's the modern day philosophy. And people don't understand duty. I'm married. It's my commitment. I'm committed to this relationship. It's my duty, isn't it? That's not there. I'm not happy. Okay. No duty. No duty, no commitment, isn't it? That's why the most of the crimes are happening every day. In Mangalore yesterday. Mangalore has come. Somebody killed a girl.
Yes, in the stabbed in our college.
It happened there.
In our
It happened in Shema. Publicly killed.
People
my
were
God.
recording that.
People are recording from the building.
Oh, that the police case they're building. Nobody comes forward to protect.
That now.
Kill girl. They want to watch.
The girl was, the boy was threatening with suicide.
Both are medical students.
No, they are not from our college. The girl is from Sri Devi College. She was studying in. And the boy
Is, I heard that he's from our area. He's a diabetic friend.
Whatever. No, such kind of violent behavior shows some. You suppose somebody extremely angry at a small thing and goes to kill you. We remain silent, but one thing you can know, something is wrong with him. If you study his life, there has to be some great sinful activity to agitate him like this, or a small input, correct? So maybe something, seeing drug addict, he gets a reason now why he became so violent. Okay, Baba, whatever it is. And all this happening because they should not have done what they did. And then what happened? Next. Finished? He killed the girl. The
he
girl
slept
is,
himself.
Huh?
He slept himself as well.
Yeah.
And the girl also 12 times he stabbed.
Yeah.
She survived?
That Shema.
ICU.
That girl, the boy is recovered actually, but the girl is in.
Anyway, what is he was recovering? He's going to jail and they're going to hang him anyway. In Vedic times, the king will not wait. It will come to him. He was the constitution, he was the court, he was the justice, he was the press. All the four pillars of democracy was one person, the king, but not independent. He has council of ministers and who are free, no salary they take. They're all sages. They will be holding Manushas, Manusmriti. What has to be done? And we will just ask, does this happen? He'll first take eyewitness there. Not case is running in court for 25 years. Loses all relevance by the time decision comes. Sometimes the girls are forgiven him also 25 years. So he said, okay, what happened? He did it. Takes his sword, just finishes it. At the moment it is finished. Now this case, you can imagine how much anger the whole society feels, but the justice comes after 25 years. So, sake of educating people in general, why we came to this? कहाँ से कहाँ चले गए हम लोग? चलो next.
Now verse 21. This verse is an important verse, so I'll be chanting the verse. Yad yad acharati shreshtas
Yad yad acharati shreshtas
tad tad evetaro janaha sayat pramanam kurute lokastad anuvartate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Whatever action is performed by a great man, common men follow in his footsteps, and whatever standards he sets by exemplary acts, all the world pursues. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna says that how we can learn from good examples in the society. Some of the good examples we have in the society, starting from our teacher itself, and the public in general, we require a teacher who is in line with the Shastras. So we cannot have an opinion of our own. Our opinion, our teachings always have to be aligned with the Shastras. So we can see in the Vamana Leela also how Bali Maharaj rejected his guru Shukracharya because he was advising him against the Shastras, against the Vedas. When Vamanadeva himself came, who was the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, Shukracharya was hesitant and was advising Bali Maharaj to act in favor of God. At that point of time, Bali Maharaj, who all his life was obedient to his guru, he became disobedient to his guru and he rejected such a guru. In another sense, we can also see how Arjuna also decided to fight against Drona, although Drona was his teacher and he accepted Krishna as his guru. So Prabhupada mentions in the purport that only by practical behavior you can inspire others. You are yourself smooth, you are yourself great. You cannot give up, inspire another person to give up his bad habits and his good behavior. So by practical behavior, we can show the world how to be.
See, you can connect it here. Krishna is telling him to fight. Krishna is telling him to fight. You are so respected in society as a great mind. Now, if you run away like this, you are setting a very bad precedent. Correct? Whether the archer, this kind of behavior will become a very bad precedent for the whole society. You have a very good responsibility. Correct? You run away. But you see, you are not an ordinary person. You are a very respected. You are a Shrestha. Whether the Acharati, Shrestha. The great responsibility you have when you take a position of respect in society. And if you misbehave, we will keep it. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is Chota Haridas Thakur. And he just glanced at a girl with wrong intention. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him from this. He was so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so dear to him that he fasted for 100 days. And the devotee said, if you don't like battle like this. We never came in from miles away. Lord Chaitanya used to go for darshan. 1 year, miles away, he used to take darshan. And 1 year he did not come. And he went and jumped into suicide. They informed Chaitanya, you know, you are the disciple. Yes! That is a punishment. So you want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Be careful. As everybody went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Forgive him. Paramatma who's God. Please have one. And pardon. I'll do one. Jagannath, stay. Okay, so then there is a it's a reason. Got it? Anyway, if you read more, that Chota Haridas gets the body of a Gandharva. He was a great singer. And then Jagannath used to take bath every day. And other devotees, they would just come. Chaturanga used to enjoy. Very great. Enjoy hearing the He used to sing for Lord Chaitanya. There are Chaitanya. What is it? Don't make it a joke. Krishna consciousness. Make it joke. We will not advance. Kanishta, we cannot stay. Until Bharat Maharaj did a mistake. He started taking deer forest. And it's, okay. And then he took bath. He got one bird. Other people, I think, Bharata he took and he got a birth over here. Very small. And then after that, it was so serious. It was Samadhi. It was totally away from the samsara of the society. Just not. It's like एक बारी लोग किसी से बात भी नहीं करेगा. होता ही रहेगा. पूरा यार थोड़ा. It becomes very serious. Memory. So Jada Bharata. So everybody should. Devotees have a very something will happen. We should be advancing. Something will happen. Therefore, not only we take medicine. Correct? For us to see we are most devotional after we got into the course of bhakti. There also there is so much. The three modes नहीं हम लोग चैप्टर को देख सकते हैं. Pressure चल रहा है. 90 Beyond that, so why? Once I take medicine, no, I'm taking medicine. Okay. Why there is no advance? What do you suppose? We should be happy taking medicine. We should see prove it and go back. Now, doctor, just now the doctor came. But here no medicine is. But mistake making. Rather maybe something taken. So that has to be careful. Take care. Whatever action perform, common man, standards. Is kept every quarter. Then Lord all the things. Management, talk about people. That is not.
You should be a devotee.
Imagine that but the Prabhupada wanted should adopt Vaishnava say when judges in the court are then you know preaching is correct. We need when you become doctor then your friends first time you have come. You have come before. You are from which college? Say. You read Bhagavad Gita. Huh? You have Bhagavad Gita. Oh, very nice. You that you welcome. Okay. We are in the middle. 20 minutes more. A third chapter. Generally, I do. Okay. Later, after, I can revise. Need any. Okay.
Verse 22, translation. Who shall work within all the things, nor am I in nor have I anything, and yet I'm engaged in work. So after giving the Janaka and other Indians, and giving a general understanding of Gita, now his own example, he says that all position in Lord, in controller, and in the purpose of mentioned Krishna's one function of the other, like we can see that see that Krishna can also taste with his eyes. So he is the supreme controller, but even he is not idle. He is also performing his duty. So he's above all the creatures, and he does not do anything scriptures, and by himself performs all.
It's 9 to get up 3 o'clock. 5 years to get up. And all that time there is no alarm. The birds. No birds are there. All the bird sounds. When you live in nature, you hear the bird sound. Some people even hear sounds there. Birds, particular birds in city. But cities only grow to there. All around. Because there is no garden and birds eat garden flowers. So Krishna used to get up 3 and Lakshmi used to curse those birds to make a sound. 3 o'clock now. How do you know the time? Krishna knows the time, but still. And all of them, 16,000, they're never satisfied. Every day they are with you. That's why you chant Hare Krishna. You want to chant. And you hear a film song 1 time, 2 times, it's after that. Now you cannot hear it. But Krishna song is yes, never goes. Okay, so there is no duty for personality of God to form, but still Krishna knows. There is no no work to do. That's why there was one person and he went to every temple. He was holding. And he went to all the temples. Then he was just a foreigner. Give that example. He doesn't know Indian culture, anything. You're searching for God. Krishna. I said, why? Everybody's working. Weapon. Everybody's holding. Just like in a company where you're using money is having some work. Lying in a street. All the CEOs are not working. Even in metal work, and I think offices quite government offices they come. That's 10, 15 minutes. All day the chair will go. You have seen? The more senior the because the reason is but then when you do something you like we're not to take our working Sunday also we enjoy this. Work is when you have to do what to do. Doesn't do such thing. That does everything. Actually, and it is also 24 hours. They don't walk. Goswamis went working 2 hours, sleeping 2 hours, that was the Mahaprabhu told Bhakti from all the if you respond to this based on the good. So much work behind the re-establishment of Vrindavan. How we are going to Vrindavan? It was on, got the rooms. 30th after 4th. We are having one is in Vrindavan. We are having of proper disappearance. Very big function in Vrindavan. Whole city comes for a feast. Second function is the day Krishna takes house from car festival. And so you're all okay. You want to join tickets. About to start. Tickets will open. If you want to go by flight, no problem. For students, easily holidays. First is a holiday. November 1st is holiday. November 2nd is Saturday. November 3rd is these 3 are in the center. Just take a day. It's very easy. 29th is Govardhan Puja. 30th June we leave. Flight people. And the train people, they have to leave on the day of Govardhan Puja a little early. They have to partly miss the festival here. And they have to leave because I want them to attend proper disappearance and actually experience of life. Pure festival. Okay? So the date, the 29th, the date would have maybe today, tomorrow it will open out. Tickets open 4 months before. You get reservation very easily, all class, AC and everything. Sleeper you will get before also, but AC you will not get later. You have to book. You can just check the dates with Sridhara. Actually, I wanted to put a poster up, but yesterday we became, rooms were confirmed only yesterday. So much we struggled. Rohan is online, he did the job. We practically called whole when nobody is given. It was so tight that time. And finally, somebody has promised us room, then I'm announcing. Because what is the point in announcing when I don't have rooms? Correct? So I got rooms and now we have announced. So people can decide. We will be visiting. Vrindavan has many places. It has. We go to Mathura, Krishna's birthplace also. And Vrindavan is more important than Mathura. All the Leelas of Krishna are in Vrindavan. Where he punished Kalia, where he did this Leela, where he played with his friends, where Mother Yashoda tied him. Everything, where Nanda Maharaj house, Chaurasi Khamba, everything is there. And when in Vrindavan you are there with the whole mood, it's a different experience. Okay? So I'm giving you all less time because circumstantially it happened like that. But those of flight, you have time. You can book your tickets, but rooms I'll be booking now. And what I'm doing in set of 30, I'm booking 30 rooms now. And the 30 accommodation is people book up, then I'll book another 30. Then I'll book another 30. I'll go like that, parts. So if I book 100 rooms today, then 20 people come, then 80 rooms are wasted. Okay? But remember, even to get 30 rooms was very difficult. Not 30 rooms, 15 rooms for 2 people per room. Okay? It was not easy. It was very difficult. Because Kartik time, Vrindavan is flooded. And this is near the temple, ISKCON temple, which will be the main place we will be going. Okay? So, most important is Prasadam. So we are near the places of good Prasadam. Otherwise, the later time, the accommodation may be a little further, but it will be in group. But you may have to walk little. Because every day we will not miss the Mangal Aarti in ISKCON temple, 4 o'clock. And then we will not miss the Shayan Aarti in Kartik. We offer Diya to the Lord in Vrindavan. So we have to go to Krishna Balaram temple. I luckily getting this one in near. Suppose I get one further, then you have to walk 50. And morning time, you will not get rickshaw anything. And you have to run. And when you run, behind you, dogs will be there. And monkeys. Monkeys. So do it early. ठीक है so इतना से कार्य करना चाहिए. Yeah, continue.
Text 23. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. For if I did not engage in work, O Partha, certainly all men would follow my path. So Lord Krishna further goes on to say that what will happen if Krishna himself does not follow the instructions of the Vedas, because Krishna is the highest authority and Krishna descended only to establish the principles of religion. So that being the purpose, he has to follow all the religious orders, and moreover Krishna showed us how to act according to our bodies. Lord Krishna was in a householder's life. He had 16,000 queens, and he was himself performing all the duties of a householder perfectly. Not just that, after the
Continue.
Kurukshetra war was over and Lord Krishna had to travel from Kurukshetra to Dwarka, even during his travel also he was still getting up early, worshipping Vishnu, and even during his travel actually he was doing all the duties. So he is setting the example.
Okay, very good. Okay, oh, certainly all man will follow my path. Okay, good. Continue.
Text 24, translation by Srila Prabhupada. If I should cease to work, then all these words will be put to urination. I would also be the cause of creating unwanted population, and I would thereby destroy the peace of all sentient beings. In the earlier chapter, Arjuna had expressed his concern over Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara is the population which is unwanted population. They are the people who basically disturb the general peace of the society. So Lord Krishna tells him, when Lord Krishna tells him to fight, he says that when all the men die in the fight, then there will be unwanted population. So here actually Krishna elaborates on that question. He elaborates the answer here in this chapter by saying that
Yeah, the Varna Shankara will not come because you fight. Varna Shankara will come because you don't fight. See, he answered in here also, third chapter. It's answered in the second chapter also, but now third chapter is Varna Shankara is coming. This word has come, connecting to this word uttered by Arjuna. Varna Shankara will come. If I kill, the men are killed, the children will be unreformed, uncivilized. If you don't fight, then you are showing how to be irresponsible. If the people are irresponsible, that's called Varna Shankara. Varna Shankara means good for nothing. They cannot take any responsibility. They are irresponsible people, correct? Society, like in a house, everybody has to do certain duties. So everybody become irresponsible, they're good for nothing. Society, everybody has to perform certain duties. So he said, I will not fight. He said, if you don't fight, then they will be Varna Shankara, not when you fight. And actually that's what happened. Because when war got over, Yudhishthira Maharaj took over the world. He created Vaikuntha on earth. Everybody was happy. So there was no Varna Shankara. Rather, Arjuna would not have fought with kind of Duryodhana as a king. He is himself a Varna Shankara. Whole society would have become photocopies of Varna Shankaras. Yes.
But again, a question arises that Lord Krishna, the Shastras come from Lord Krishna, so how can he be beyond the law? So there is a general question that how can the lawmaker not abide by the law? Because Lord Krishna sometimes he sets aside from the orders and he performs certain leelas. But we have to understand it in the right sense that if Lord Krishna deviates from any societal orders, it is only to please his devotees. And it is not to set a wrong example. For example, the Rasa Leela. Prabhupada mentions in the purport that Rasa Leela, the Leela of Govardhana, or Lord Shiva drinking poison. So these are Leelas which should not be again imitated by common men. These are done for the pleasure of the devotees and these are done for a higher purpose and not to be imitated by us.
Okay, so the point of everything of Krishna should not be imitated. Okay? So as an ignorant perform your duties, learned man should act without attachment for the sake of leading ignorant people on the rank. Okay, you understand? Just like a teacher is writing on the board A, B. It's not that he is learning, he's teaching it, giving an example. So our life not only should be, we think about ourselves, we should think about people who are looking at us. Our example should be perfect for them. Okay. So one side Arjuna, you do behave like a Kshatriya, even if, because you are not pure, you should gradually purify yourself. In case you think you are pure, you have set a good example. Work for setting a good example, even though you need not be. He said, no, I am Paramahamsa, then I don't have to fight. No, then you're setting a bad example. Fight to set a good example to the society. You'll create Varna Shankara if you don't do it. Very good. So, did we finish this? Like, what is the shloka number 26? Continue.
24 is over.
Yeah, continue. 25.
Next 25, translation by Srila Prabhupada. As the ignorant perform their duties with attachment to results, similarly, the learned may also act, but without attachment, for the sake of leading people on the right path.
Isn't it all going in the theme, thought flow, so nicely? Yes.
Here, Prabhupada elaborates what is the difference between an attached person and a detached person. Prabhupada mentions that the difference between the two is not in action but in intention. So, when you're acting, the first question is what is your intention to act? What is motivating you to act? Is it lust? Is it anger? Is it greed? What is your intention to act? So I heard in one of the lectures that there are three things: intent, content, and impact. So when you are acting, what is the intent? Secondly, now that you've decided to act, what is the content? What do you have to speak, or what will you finally act? And the third one is what is the impact that you're creating? What is the consequence that you're creating on the onlookers, people who are watching your act? So this is very important. So Prabhupada mentions that you should act for the pleasure of the Lord. Here I would like to quote a very famous shloka. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhaktiruchyate. So in this shloka, it is said that rishikena rishikesha sevanam. Using your senses, you have to satisfy Rishikesha, who is the master of all the senses, and Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. That is, you have to give up attachment to all your degrees. Like we may have so many degrees. Somebody must be a doctor, somebody must be an engineer. But when we come to the temple, but when we do seva for the Lord, everything we should keep aside, and we should only act as a devotee and servant of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada.
Who are attached to fruitive action, don't disturb them. You know, people are acting on one platform, don't just go and disturb them. They should not be encouraged to refrain from or to engage in work in the spirit or devotion. Gradually, people have to be lifted. Okay? People are going to Devi temple, don't stand there and stop them. But you go to Vishnu temple, study Bhagavad Gita. Mostly people go to temple with some blessings, correct? When you're going to temple, you're studying Bhagavad Gita. People actually generally cannot immediately follow, but they need good examples. So, and then the Vedic culture was like that. The Brahmana used to be so pure, so austere. People can't be like that. And they, will become a role model. So Kshatriyas reach 75% of what a Brahmana is, Vaishya reach 50%. Everybody wants to be like them to a certain degree. They cannot exhibit all their qualities. They were very austere and very pure. And a symbol of purity. So it's like, be an example, be a good example. Okay. This is a very famous shloka.
Text 26, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Let not the wise disrupt the minds of the ignorant who are attached to fruitive action. They should not be encouraged to refrain from work, but to engage in work in the spirit of devotion. In this shloka, Prabhupada explains that people who are not on the devotional platform, don't confuse them. Rather, make them engage in activity towards Krishna. Actually, there are 4 ways in which we can serve the Lord. We can serve the Lord with 4 things. Prana, Artha, Diya, and Vacha. Prana is one can give your life to the Lord or for the mission of the Lord. By Artha. Artha is by wealth. By giving some money for devotional activities. Third is Diya. You can serve the Lord by Diya. Diya is intelligence. And fourth is by Vacha. That is by your words. By glorifying the Lord or by chanting the names of the Lord. So you can serve the Lord by Prana, Artha, Diya, and Vacha. And moreover, there is a shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedascha Sarver Ahameva Vedya. That is, ultimately, all the activities, everything is, ultimately, the benefactor of everything is Lord Krishna. So, Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna that show how work can be dedicated to Krishna and show how activity can be dovetailed in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, we go next. The very famous shloka. Next one, yeah. Okay. Yes.
Verse 27, it's a famous verse, so I'll be chanting the verse. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasha ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The bewildered spirit soul, under the influence of the three modes of material nature, thinks himself to be the doer of the activities which are in actuality carried out by nature. In this shloka, Prabhupada explains that we mistake initiation of an action to be the ultimate execution of the action itself. So the material nature is actually working under the direction of the Lord, and it is functioning on its own. Just like when we go to a factory and we see a set of machines. So generally the first machine is started, it's kick-started, and all the machines they run in a sequence. Again, nobody is coming and manually checking the second machine, third machine, and so on. Just that the first machine is started, the start button, it's kick-started, and then the whole manufacturing process, it just automatically starts. Again, there is no intervention required. So similarly, the universe is started, it's created by Lord Vishnu, and it is functioning on its own. Again, it's functioning under the direction of the Lord, but it's functioning on its own. We are not doing anything to actually make it function. We are not changing the seasons. Everything is under the control of Lord Krishna. I would like to give a cross reference here. Further in the 9th chapter, Krishna reveals and he says that it is working under my direction. He is in the shloka. Maya Yakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagat Vipari Vartate. So in this shloka, Krishna says that material nature, everything is actually under my direction.
Very good. You get an example, just like if I have cold, my healthy behavior is covered now. Infection takes over. And it's not my origin. So presently we are acting, but we forget we are sick now. So Prakriti has taken over. Prakriti is acting through you. Modes are acting, not you. You can only serve the Lord. You cannot do anything else. Soul is totally pure. Only thing soul can do is serve the Lord. Therefore, when soul is purified, it just falls the fit of the Lord. Because of the three modes which we have cultivated, infection comes because of our stupidity. At least the infection we're talking about, modes. And we are dragged by the infection. Just like I'm sneezing. It's not my healthy behavior. My healthy behavior is covered. Prakriti has taken over now. And in pride, I say, I did. You didn't do anything. The remotes did. They make somebody out, they throw a ball. I did. You didn't do anything. Remotes are doing it. He is a pure soul, servant of Krishna's creatures. Remotes, a game of three modes is going on. Okay. Ahankara Mudatma Kartahamiti Manyate. We go to the next shloka.
Just have it out here. So when somebody is being very successful, so that is also actually influence of the three modes only.
It's a game of, see, in this world, everything is going. Your soul only does service to Krishna. So everything is in the field of Maya. Success means it's all in the field of Maya. And real success is only, I have increased my faith and devotion to the Lord. The rest, if it can be connected, the success can be connected to serve the Lord. Okay, now next.
Text 28, translation by Srila Prabhupada. One who is in knowledge of the absolute truth, O mighty armed, does not engage himself in the senses and sense gratification, knowing well the differences between work in devotion and work for fruitive activities. Here Srila Prabhupada mentions that the first line of the purport itself is actually very beautiful. I just want to read it out. The knower of the absolute truth is convinced of his awkward position in material association. So I would like to stress on the word awkward position. So somehow we have actually come to this world and we've got entangled in so many duties and so many relationships, which is very awkward sometimes. So, but a living entity who has understood that his constitutional position originally is that of a servant of Krishna, so he makes efforts to come out of this awkward position. But in this shloka, Prabhupada mentions that those who are ignorant, those who are not on this devotional platform, don't confuse them and don't disturb them. It is better that you pursue your activities and your devotional services silently and you don't waste your time. One of the offenses is also preaching the glories to a faithless person. But again, the question arises, then why does ISKCON preach so much? Why do we have so many preaching centers? That's because of the mercy of the devotees, because we understand the purpose of human life and we understand that it has to be spread to as many people as possible. And a devotee who, because of his kindness and being compassionate, we we take this risk of going and spending time with non-devotees so that we can help them lead a better life.
Okay, I just want to finish now this chapter. Let us focus on the shloka and the thread of thoughts. Okay. So, one is the knowledge of the absolute truth does not engage with the senses and the sense gratification. Okay. Knowing the difference between the work and devotion, work and fruit of results. So, he wants to focus activities as a service to the Lord, not for self gratification. Arjuna did not want to fight, I will not be happy. So there is the difference between work done for our own pleasure and work done out of duty to the Supreme Lord. Okay. The next shloka.
Text 30, translation by Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me, with mind intent on me, and without desire for gain, and free from egoism and lethargy, fight. In this shloka, Prabhupada gives an example that a cashier, when he counts cash, he's counting cash on behalf of the employer, but he's not claiming the cash for himself. So he is telling Arjuna the same way that fight on behalf of me. So we can also take inspiration from it that we have to follow Krishna conscious life more like a material discipline and fight, just the way Arjuna was fighting as if Krishna was his commander.
Yes. Desire without desire for gain and free from egoism and lethargy. You're covering everything. Lethargy, you'll not do your duty. Egoism, gain. What is the gain for me? Why a fight? Forget all these things. All your works to me. See, Krishna is using the word mai. Previously he said Vishnu. All your yagnarthat karmano. He is saying me now. He says me. Mai sarvani karmani. All your works, give it to me. Okay? So that's very nice. With mind intent on me, without desire for gain and egoism, lethargy, fight. It's very good. Next shloka.
Verse 31, translation by Srila Prabhupada. One who executes his duties according to my injunctions and who follows this teaching faithfully without envy becomes free from the bondage of fruitive activities. Here Prabhupada mentions that you should have two things. The first thing is you should have firm faith in the instruction of the Lord, and second is without envying the Lord, without envying the position of the Lord. So by doing these two things, you'll be free from the bondage of fruitive actions.
Okay. Please follow the teaching faithfully and without envy. It's very important. And we don't accept the orders when we are envious. Understand the teachings and obey. Prabhupada says in the beginning, we may not follow everything, but we are not resentful. We are not resentful to them. Okay. But who? Next shloka.
Verse 32, translation by Srila Prabhupada. But those who, out of envy, disregard these teachings and do not practice them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and doomed to ignorance and bondage. In this shloka, Prabhupada mentions that there is a punishment for disobedience to the Supreme Lord, and two things happen. First thing is he would realize that there are three aspects of Krishna, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. And second, he won't understand.
No, what we do, please? What is happening? 10 minutes for every presentation. Now, chapter will go out of the way. I'm not on the purport study now. Please try to understand. Our is to study the stream of thoughts. If you want to do that, then we will take 4 sessions for one chapter. We will go back to the same thing. Okay? So, what everybody should do is read the whole chapter at your place. Okay? Here, at first level, I'm going to do it 3 times. First level, I'll catch the stream of thoughts. Okay? Just focus on the translation, connect to the stream of thoughts. Out of envy, disregard this teaching, do not practice them regularly, consider bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and doomed to ignorance and bondage. Okay, we can understand this. Krishna said, I have told you all this thing. Out of envy, why you don't obey somebody? Out of envy. Then you're bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and doomed to ignorance and bondage. Okay. I'll take it up now. Just finish this chapter. Even a man of knowledge acts according to his nature. What can for everyone follow? What can repression accomplish? You are just saying, I'll not fight this war. It doesn't work out, Arjuna. Repression doesn't. By your modes, you have to act. infection has taken over. You dovetail it for my pleasure. Dovetail for the, you just dovetail it for the good of the society. Your nature cannot be stopped. You're saying, I'll sit in the forest. No. You fight there. Better fight for some good cause here. Okay. Attraction, repulsion, sense objects are felt by embodied beings, or one should not fall under the control of sense objects because they're stumbling blocks in the path of self-realization. Okay. So, the also, I will be happy, I'll not be happy. These are all because of your personal sense pleasures. But one should not fall under the control of senses because they're stumbling blocks. Okay. And then we go to the 35th. It is far better to discharge one prescribed duty, even though one may be faulty than other duty. Distraction course of performing one duty, better than engage in other duty, far to fall under one. They're dangerous. Because he wanted to follow the example of Param Sannyasi sitting in the forest, which is that is not permitted. That is, one man's food is other man's poison. Even doctors say they do this. Okay. Then Arjuna, when he hears, see, particularly now you have to make a connection. Why he asked this question. In the previous shloka, you say he talks about stumbling blocks, attraction, repulsion, sense objects. This is stumbling blocks on self-realization. So because of that, immediately he has a question. Krishna, I have a question now. What is the question? O descendant of Vishnu, by what one is impelled to sinful acts even unwillingly, as if engaged by force. As if forcefully attracted to sinful activity. Why? That's true for all of us, as if some force takes over. Actually, it's our infection. So Krishna says yes. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Kama Esha Krodesha Rajoguna Samadhuvaha, Mahashuno Mahapada Vidhi Evam Yavarina. Know it from me, it's your enemy. Because we may think it's a great pleasure. When I drink, I smoke, I do all this, great pleasure. Krishna says, know it from me, it's your enemy. Kama, lust only, which is born in contact mental of passion, literance, wrath, all devouring sinful enemy of this world. The next, as fire is covered by smoke, how this lust covers you? Different degrees. A mirror is covered by the dust. Fire is, anybody have this today? Okay, I will finish it. Or you have this. Everybody comes prepared and they take little time more. Okay? So now, catch for time. Fire is covered by smoke. This is minimum covering of human life. Mirror is covered by dust. That is, you cannot see your face more. That's animal life. Embryo is covered by the womb. Still total darkness. That's plant life. Living entity is covered by different degrees of lust and dust. Right? Mass pure consciousness covered by eternal enemy. Eternal enemy is to make it again and again. Krishna saying eternal enemy. Okay? In the form of lust, which is never satisfied, burns like a fire. So that's the destruction for you. Eternal enemy. The senses, mind, intelligence, setting places for the lust. So basically, first the senses get covered. Just like you go to some gathering, people are smoking. First the senses get, and then the mind, then the intelligence. Intelligence is protecting, some good for you, but sometimes intelligence gets corrupted. So real knowledge is living entity and bewilders. That's what happens. Three places that cover. Therefore, Arjuna, best of the heart, in the very beginning, curve this great symbol of sin lust by regulating the senses. But you have to start at the senses. You cannot directly control it. Now, once you're contaminated, you have to keep out of mind, out of sight. You have to keep the sense object away from the senses. That's what they do for any drug addict. Keep the drugs away from the senses. Keep the liquor away. Then gradually, senses are purified. Then mind is purified. Then intelligence comes back. So he says, you do this. And because the reason is there. Indriyani parani yahu. More important than the senses is more important the body is the senses. Indriya paramamana. More important than senses is the mind. More important than mind is the intelligence. And more than the intelligence is the soul. This is very, very, very important shloka. You see, very logical also. I can explain that in many ways some other day. But the point is there, the soul is the highest. Beyond all this. And we have only understood the body. Beyond the body's senses, we have not understood it now. This is so much discussion on this. Different platforms of consciousness can be developed from this. The knowing oneself to transcend the material senses, mind and intelligence, one should control the lust of the lower self by the higher self. Just like you don't get your visa, you can go to the ambassador, on a higher self. You go to the higher authority. By spiritual strength, conquer the insatiable enemy known as lust. Right? This is our enemy. Krishna is informing us. By your own experience, you'll spend millions of lifetime not be convinced of this. Krishna is telling you in 2 minutes. Okay, last. See, today what happened, actually, a lot of time also is spent on revising. So our time became less. For 2 hours, we should restrict the revision to maybe 15 minutes. Somebody should time everything. Okay? 10:30 sharp is revision should finish in 15 minutes. And then we should start the chapter. I took, I think, a lot of time in revision. We have to rush to the last part. Huh?
We started late. It was 11.
We'll start at 10:30. Okay, everybody has one. I'm sorry to rush to the last part, but I wanted to finish this chapter. It was supposed to finish in one session, at least in 2 sessions.
Three words.
Don't mind my pushing you. Yeah.
Three words I will say.
Ah.
Karma Kanda. And he said, Nishtha Karma. That is that you don't get bondage to the. And what is the biggest obstruction in this Karma is the lust. That is the last one.
Right, it's connected. So in this chapter, these are the 3. Karma Kanda means you work with some fruit in your mind. Nishkamka, you work without any fruit. And why you don't work without fruit? Because your heart is compromised. And Krishna is explaining how to come out of that compromise. Correct? You are dragged. See that Arjuna is being very open. Anna? He is a great man, but he is so honest. Anna? He is saying, Krishna, I am supposed to act helplessly. He is not in that position. He is the eternal servant of the Lord, who is playing the role of a Kshatriya. And so humbly saying, it's very difficult to control this. So he is asking Krishna, what do I do? And Krishna is giving him some advice. True? So mind control is here in the Bhagavad Gita. Very clear in the 3rd chapter. Again. Thank you very much. They are waiting for the Aarti. Okay. We are not much, 10 minutes late. Okay. So next time, 4th chapter. We have 4th chapter has similar parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a very beautiful chapter. Who do the first part? Lineage of transcendental knowledge, Parampara, Guru Parampara. You want to do? Today you didn't get. Okay, Guru Parampara. Who does the part 2? The divine nature of Krishna, Lord Krishna's appearance. Very famous shlokas. All the shlokas will come. Beautiful shlokas will come. Huh? Tushar wants to do.
कितना श्लोकस है?
Huh? You ready? You have to read the shloka and explain. Okay. I'll give you 10 minutes. Time it. 3rd, Krishna, the creator, the culminator of all paths. 11 to 15. Who will do this one? Rohan?
सर हाँ सर
Hare
मैं कर
Krishna,
लेता
Rohan. Hare Krishna, Rohan.
हरे कृष्णा सर मैं कर लेता हूँ
कौन सा? Krishna, the creator, culminator of all paths. 11 to 15.
हाँ सर वो 11 to 15 मैं कर
16 to 24. Vanita? You are muted. And 4 to 16, 24 you will do. Understanding karma on the 25 to attaining jnana. Pranama. Okay. 34 to 42. Method, result, and rules of attaining jnana. This is actually chapter on transcendental knowledge. The most difficult part. Jnana is burning like fire, all the discussion.
Since it's the last, better if you, because you can wind
No,
Right.
everybody will give 10 minutes, so 10-minute discussion on that. 10 minutes at present, 10 minutes to discuss, 10 minutes to present. 10 minutes. We'll have a person having a watch. Okay. 34 to 42, Mataji. Okay. Okay. Hey, Hare Krishna. You note down, huh? Hare Krishna.
16 to 24.
16 to 24 is you are doing. 25 to 33, Prena Mataji. And 34 to 42. You know Mataji? Tushar Mataji. Easy. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Rohan.
हरे कृष्णा सर हरे कृष्णा
Today also we have college now. Who wants to come? Last time they came. No?
Thank you, sir.
We have another session. Who wants to? 125 students are registered. There is a college called Gyana Sudha, Ganit Nagar, Jarkala.